Almost a year after they introduced their new rubber compounds, the ADDIX compounds, I decided to use something else for my cross-country racing this year, and that is the Rocket Runs. What I have here, I have a Rocket Run 27.5 225, that is SnakeSkin. I have the same thing but in LiteSkin. Also, I have here a 29er SnakeSkin as well. And in the next couple minutes, I'm going to take a closer look and see what they are about. The four compounds introduced are represented by the four colors here on the box: the Speed, Speed Grip, Soft, and Ultra Soft. As kind of the name implies, this is the softest compound that they have. ADDIX Speed is the hardest compound, the best rolling resistance. This is mostly for racing, cross-country racing. The only difference on this LiteSkin label is that it mentions its Evolution series, and take a look, it doesn't say tubeless ready. This is the TL Easy, it doesn't mention it. So I assume I cannot use this tubeless. This sticker on top of the box allows you to easily identify the type of compound you have, and all this new branding seems to be just a sleeve or the good old Schwalbe box. Here we go, it's just missing the label from down here. Inside the box, obviously you get the tire, and you get this little leaflet that looks to be redesigned. Both Racing Ralph and Thunderbird, that I'm very familiar with, provide you with a lot of knobs right here in the middle of the thread. That gives you that good rolling resistance because it's like a uniform block that you are usually rolling onto. Compared to that, the pattern of the Rocket Run seems to be similar to a knobby nick, in which the knobs are spaced out a little bit more. Also, because of that, you have all these areas of exposed casing that might make it a bit more prone to punctures. On the scale, the LiteSkin is supposed to be 490 grams, mine is 556, so that's a whopping 66 grams over. That's like 15% more. SnakeSkin is supposed to be 570, it's 595, so that's not too bad. Finally, the 29er is supposed to be 610 grams, mine is 675, so that's again 65 grams over. It's about 10%. Now, I reached out to the seller and complained, and they told me that the Schwalbe tires tolerance is plus minus 10%. On the sidewall, you get the compounds marked clearly as well. Also, all the other information about the tire is clearly marked. The minimum and maximum pressure, it's 1.8 to 3.7 bars or 26 to 54 psi's. Also, this tiny arrow gives you the direction of the thread. If I take a look at this compared to the good old Paystar, and this is a Thunderbird that I plan to use in the rear, this one, the thickness of the sidewall seems to be about the same, no difference there. However, the new ADDIX compound, the Speed, seems to be a lot more rubbery. I'm installing the 27.5 tires on a rim with the ID or internal dimension of 23 millimeters. The height of this rim should be 20 millimeters. Even though they mark the LiteSkin as non-tubeless ready, this one is inflated tubeless right now. I didn't see much stance coming through the sidewall yet. The other ones are SnakeSkin. You see a Racing Ralph over there, Rocket Run, and this is the last Rocket Run I have, but this one I think is a defective one. Take a look. See that big wobble in the casing? No matter what I did, it's still there, so I think it's defective. All these tires are inflated to 25 psi's right now after staying overnight at 35 psi's. Let's take a few measurements. Racing Ralph 27.5 SnakeSkin, Rocket Run 27.5 SnakeSkin and LiteSkin, they all seem to measure the same. Also, if you look at the tire profile here, seems very similar. So casing is probably identical, and just the thread pattern that is different. Cornering knobs and the casing are pretty much at the same level, and they measure about 54.6 millimeters, which is 2.15 inches. The rim is 20 millimeters height, so casing sits at about 68 millimeters. Center knobs are about 70. So the center knobs, the rolling knobs here, are about 2.5 millimeters. The cornering knobs, other talus point, sit at around 4 millimeters. The 29er will go on a Stance Arch MK3 rim with an internal dimension or ID of 26 millimeters and also the height of 16 millimeters as you see it here. On this wider rim, the 29er width is 56.7, which is about 223, so very close to that 2.25. 16 millimeter height rim. Casing sits at 67 millimeters and center knobs at about 69.5. So the same height of the center knobs and the same height of the tire of about 5 centimeters or 50 millimeters. And here they are after a couple of weeks of riding and a race rocket run. This is the tubeless ready ADDIX speed. Over there I have a Racing Rolf, the old one, LiteSkin. The LiteSkin ADDIX speed as well. This one ended up sealing through the sidewall for a little bit. I inflated it to about 35 psi's and now it's rock solid. So it's probably worth trying it tubeless like I did here. Ended up being just fine. And overall, they seem to be really nice and grippy tires. Definitely as an option for the front. In the back, I have the Racing Rolf. As I showed it to you, this is the SnakeSkin as well. So far so good, but very little riding. So I guess I'm gonna have to do another video about these at the end of the season. And that's pretty much it from me, guys. Have any questions? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, keep an eye on social media. I'm gonna put links for these products down in the description. And until next time, hope to see you folks on the trails. Cheers, guys. Cheers.